In this video, hell broke loose and Spawn needs some help, so the team up begins. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Spawn, issue number 364, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So previously in Spawn starts to assemble a team to take out a threat larger than anything he's ever faced before. So before we get into the action, we gotta go into this monologue real quick. So in heaven, in the reaches where few are allowed to step foot on, and most who have done so now vow to never return there again. And I think this is a reference to Spawn issue 350. I keep referencing that, but that issue is pivotal to exactly where we're going with the story. So knowing their lord can be both cruel and petty, at least God in this story, all these angels are telling him that Hell's Queen seems responsible for this incursion, this unleash of an attack on Earth. Your warriors unfortunately seem to have failed you, my lord. So as he contemplates that message, his anger swells. His battalion of angels had a mission to prevent anyone from ascending to prominence on Hell's empty throne. Too late for that. Nyx is sitting comfy on that. But contact with them was lost weeks ago. So the only sane assumption is none of them survived. He'll have to deal with that indignation another day. So God in this comic book right here is like, the queen of theirs must not have received my messages since then. Since she doesn't quite understand that Earth is mine, I will have to make that message painfully clear to her. That deliverance will soon come attached with this legendary rage, what we mortals have come to know as the wrath of God. So in the green world, we got to get a little world building here, see what other people are talking about, see what their actions are. The true birthplace of the universe origins is the green world, a place very few even know exists. And for those who try to prove its existence, most have never been heard from again. It's true, Nyx has taken full control over Hell, and Gaia is like, ooh, that lust of power is what that throne is feeding off of her, and she's too blind with ambition to know she's being corrupted. By the time she figures that out, she'll be their slave, and so will Earth. If that happens, I'll have to destroy that planet once again. Now, as the creator of all life, Gaia, the mother of nature, has been forced to destroy the living things on Earth twice before, to break the addictive bond between heaven and hell have towards it. So now that we got heaven, we got green world, we got to go to hell, a place known as the shadows for the damned, a place that has recently unleashed its newest chaos, and where none of its previous leaders have ever escaped its corruption. So now these servants go up to Nyx as requested. Your servant has arrived on Earth near Spawn. Good, says Nyx. We'll see now if Spawn will voluntarily trigger his power for my servant, or whether more humans need to be sacrificed to get him to do so. If Simmons wants to play hero, it'll cost lives. That will get him to do what I need him to do. He's too weak mentally to ignore all that bloodshed, especially when he finds out I'm not interested in Earth. Now we get like all three on the panel side by side, though at this moment all three deities have made a crucial mistake they will all regret in the years to come, because until now most of their actions have played out away from the prying eyes of humans, and for the most part the scale and the reality of how many shadow players are here on Earth has been a well-kept secret. The talk of the super beings being real is still being debated on the internet. Hey, whatever TikTok says, TikTok is true. Anyways, the hubris is that God, Gaia, and Nyx have never given any value to what humans will do to survive any attack, spiritual or otherwise. So now the general and the US military has a lock on the target that is moving, and they have a cluster of what is being known to be approaching that target. And so it is. The movement, when the genie finally comes full on, it's Spawn and his team up, and he's calling all hands on deck. From this day forward, history will tell of the day when super beings went from unverified myths to actually existing, and it will forever change the course of Earth's history. There will soon be debates about who they are and where they came from. Can they be trusted, and who ultimately can control them? Good luck with that. You know the US government wants to control every damn thing, and sometimes it's hard enough to control yourself. So combined with that will to be in the public debate, how can anyone trust a religious book and its teachings when so much evidence counter to those gospels keep coming into view? At least in the story of this comic book, that is. There will be ugly and messy conversations as distrust will begin to flourish among all populations worldwide. And by the way, whoever said in the comment section need more freak, there goes your freak right there, looking all freaky. Populations worldwide, as all that we've been held dear, will soon begin to chip away. But those are tales for another time. For today, survival is all that's on anyone's mind. Now, meanwhile in Washington, D.C., 6 hours earlier, everyone is going batshit crazy like, yo, we gave you $2 trillion to prepare for this, and you don't know what the hell you're doing? Man, they are trying to figure out how to do all this right now, but they need containment. They need other countries' help. U.S. doesn't need that because we gave you the budget to deal with this, and now that it's here, you can't figure it out? Well, that's one panel right there. But 2 hours earlier, Spawn and the team are having a meetup, and they're talking about how much longer we're gonna wait. So Spawn says she'll be here, so relax. And Mandarin Spawn's like, we don't have the luxury of time, Spawn. Not if this threat is what we think it is. So Spawn comes in with her information. It's confirmed. This thing is from hell, and she got a reading report, and the readings tells us that it's not man-made. This is hell's doing. Nyx did all this. And Spawn's like, well, great for the news. Thanks for the report, but you're 20 minutes late. Spawn's like I said, I was looking at the data. No, you need to be able to do both at the same time. Delays will be fatal here on out, you know? Remember, you're military training, soldier, alright? Come on, says Spawn. Don't be doing that. Don't be playing that stuff on me. And Hunt goes in like, I read the report too. The beast is highly radioactive, and its path seems fairly predictable. I can lead us there. So they're getting ready to go and break out, and they want to see that smoke right there. So Spawn's like, we need other people to help out. So what's your report on that? How many have you been able to contact? And Spawn's like, over 30, with others that were hoping to get our message because nothing seems to be slowing this thing down. It tore through a tiny island not long ago. And the US military is so damn organized trying to deal with this. I mean, airplanes and bombs, and this monster is not even feeling the flinch on that. So Spawn's like, then pick a spot on the coastline and get word for everyone to rendezvous there. Hunt and I will do a quick recon in the meantime. So 23 minutes earlier, while Hunt and Spawn are doing their recon, Hunt is like, we should be making visual contact soon, but I'm curious, why didn't you want any others with you? Because being a Hellspawn could actually be a detriment. I might need a plan B. And that's what Spawn says. So as soon as he said that, just then, the wind begins to pick up, quickly turning into mini hurricane. This is part of Spawn's plan B, a human hero named Focus who moves at the speed that is incomprehensible. This is Image's version of Flash, and he was introduced in the Gunslinger Spawn comic, and I can't think of it. It's not Gunslinger Spawn issue 6. It's got to be like issue 10, 15 or something like that. I don't know. It's a lot of issues here, man. Plus I'm getting old. Memory is kind of... So Hunt is like, okay, is this guy one of yours? I'm hoping, says Spawn. But we got a problem. There's so much panic in places, says Focus, is causing gridlock that giant hits the mainland. It could get ugly real freaking fast. So Spawn says, assess how much help we have, then break off into smaller groups. Then count me in, says Monolith. I need this planet to survive for different reasons than yours. And I think he's talking about what happened in his Monolith series, you know, in his short little mini series that was pretty gangster. So Spawn tells him, right now, I'll take whatever we can get. Time's getting short. Agreed, says Monolith. Others will soon be coming. Heroes, villains, vampires. They all need to do their part. And Spawn's like, the fuck are you talking about? We don't need those freaking cycles coming in here messing everything up. So Monolith is like, look, listen up, bro. I've seen this happen before on the planet I used to live on. Total genocide. Why do you think I'm here on Earth? I don't want the same thing happening here. So like he says, he has different reasons for that thing not to win. So Hunt is like, okay guys, I agree with him, Spawn. That thing is coming, and the only thing we should be worried about is stopping it and figuring out why it's here in the first place as it approaches them. And he is approaching with the vengeance. But unexpectedly, the creature stops in its tracks. For 60 seconds, it stands unmoving, and nothing is making this thing flinch. And then it speaks, bring me Spawn. And that is the end of Spawn issue number 364. Hell broke loose, and Spawn needs some damn help with that damn thing. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. Also link in the description if you wish to add this comic book and or any of our other limited print rated comic exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.